Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dumpster Fire Gaming Podcast. I'm Squid, joined with your other host, Mr. Vamp. We unfortunately
What?
couldn't be joined together by Mr. Smug Skeleton in your closet, but we are, however, joined by our special guest, Mr. Andre Borghi, the developer of the fighting game, The Black Heart. So why don't you go on and tell us a bit about yourself?
Hello, thanks for having me here. I'm mostly a film director, and I'm also a writer, like a book writer, and we could say that the third thing I make is games. Like the Black Heart is my first game and my only game, but when making this last like update of the game, I really enjoy it. I I said, okay, why would I quit making games? Maybe I could make more games. So I think I'm a game developer now. So I'm from Argentina and I'm 39 years old.
And thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, we really
appreciate
do appreciate you coming here.
So, so we watched your film. What you call it again?
Necropolis.
Necropolis. And the one question that I have, and I'm sorry, this is a stupid one, or you might not be able to answer it. But what's the plot? What's going on in that film?
Well, the plot of Necropolis, by the way, that's my first film. I made it when I was 17 years old, and I really didn't know what I was doing. It was mostly an amateur film made with my friends. So the plot would be like a guy gets killed. No one knows how he got killed. And in the place where he died, they find a book. Right? So, three persons that knew him get together to try to solve this thing and find this book. They start to read it. It's the Necronomicon, the same Necronomicon from the Evil Dead movies, because I didn't think things so well, and that awakes a bunch of zombies. Obviously, they to escape the zombies, and later they understand that zombies are actually creatures from another world, from a parallel world. That when entering our world, they cannot live in daylight. So when the sun is up, they get inside dead bodies, and that's why we see zombies. But in the night, we see monsters. That's the logic. Through the end and through the movie, it is revealed that it's all a plot. So, like an evil being, evil dictator can enter our world, like kind of like a Lovecraft thing. Guy. We never know the name, but at the end of the movie, he succeeds and enters our world. That would be the plot.
That is very interesting. When I was watching the movie, I was assuming that when they find this book, they accidentally summoned the creatures, and now they are, fighting for their lives. That's what I got. That was my best guess from watching the film.
But yeah, thank you for clarifying that for us.
Maybe like the big twist of the movie is that two of these guys are actually evil and are the ones that are orchestrating all the evil thing. They are from the other world, so that's like a reveal that you wouldn't get if you don't speak Spanish.
Yeah. To add on to that question is, sorry. By doing this film, did it teach you anything about filming in general?
Of course, yes. I learned a lot.
Like, what's the biggest one for you?
Mostly, I always was like a good guy, but when you make a movie, an independent movie, you don't have any money. So you don't have money. Your money is your attitude. Okay, how do I say? If you're an asshole on set, nobody is gonna be there for you.
Yeah.
So, like treating people well, I I saw that many people will stay with me and make this movie with me. So that's really really important.
Mm-hmm.
I over the time in my film career, I've seen people directing movies like they were dictators. I mean, treating people like shit, and I don't know, and and also independent movies where people wasn't being paid. People just
Yeah.
left. They said, "Okay, what am I doing here? I'm having a bad time. This guy is an asshole, and I don't get
Yeah.
any money. Goodbye."
Yeah.
So that will be something very important.
Okay. So then this will be my third and final question about the film. Are you planning to film more in the future? Do you have any plans or?
Yes. Well, being a film director is actually like my main thing. It's what I
Hmm.
do. I've been filming a lot since Necropolis, and I plan on continuing filming here in my country or wherever it works. Um, if you want to see, I made a couple short films that went really well. One is called Otakus. I mean, like people that like anime, or I don't know how you call it.
Yeah,
Okay.
anime. Yeah,
Yeah.
anime, otaku, and stuff like that.
Yeah. All
Exactly.
that.
It's called Otakus. You can find it on YouTube, and it has English subtitles, one of the versions. Um, two guys that are otakus and really passionate about it, and they start an argument and start to fight, and the fight turns into an anime fight, but made with actors, not with animation.
Okay.
That went really well, and then I made a film in New Zealand, short film in New Zealand. This was a really big thing because it was a contest held in New Zealand. You had to make like a short film, like selling New Zealand, like saying New Zealand is a beautiful place, but with a story, not just a commercial or that. Won the contest. The contest, sorry. It was like 1,000 people. I won, and the jury, the person that gave the prize was Peter Jackson himself, the director of The Lord of the Rings. So that was like really huge. And the short film is also on my channel. It's called Working Day, so you can see that. What else? And I made a horror short film that went really well called Alexia, like the name Alexia. And it's over 3 million views, so it's going really well too. So that's kinda it, and I keep filming as the time
Um,
goes.
oh, that's remind me. I'm sorry that I said that will be my last question about the film, but I just remember one. I'm terribly sorry, but
Okay.
there was one scene in the film where this person, they were flying with trees, shaking their head, like, like left to right, and have one leg going eye.
Oh, are you talking about towards the end of the movie?
Yeah, was that? Yeah, like, was that what her name? No, how you pronounce?
Are
You
you asking if
mean
that's Noriko?
Yeah, because I saw that, like how they were flying with trees, shaking their head, and I'm like, is that Noriko?
well, Noriko it does that, but I think that's actually the bad guy. Main the bad guy of the Black Heart does it too. It's Hannes, but he doesn't do it in the game. But in the
Yeah.
movie, he's right there and he does it too. But
Okay.
the other guy
Okay.
was the my character, who's called Freddy Bates. I don't know why he has a English name, but that's it. But no, Noroko didn't exist at the moment.
Okay,
Okay.
because I saw that scene, and I'm like, I got a little bit confused of is that really
Yes,
her or you know. I'm going with
that's
Squid pick up. Oh, I'm sorry, go on.
no. I was saying that that's because I had seen the movie Jacob's Ladder. I don't know if you saw it, Jacob's Ladder.
Sadly, I don't think we have.
No.
Well, you should. It's the main inspiration from Silent Hill. So if you like
Huh.
Silent Hill, see Jacob's Ladder and see where it began. And in the movie, the characters do that. They shake their head like quickly, like, and just use that because I liked it. That's all.
Okay. But yeah, I guess I'll ask some questions now.
Yeah.
So I do actually have a couple questions in regards to somewhat to the film. Uh, So, other than Sharmakai, were there any other characters from Necropolis that you had considered putting into the Black Heart?
Let me think. Well, Janos is there too, and no, I think that's it. No. Well, I think at the moment I thought about adding these two guys that are evil at the end of the movie. They are called the messengers. I don't think it. I mean, they are like really complex to make in pixel art form. So no, I think I just did it. So
Okay.
Hmm.
My next question in regards to it, when you was there anything that you learned from filming that you think may have helped you in creating the Black Heart?
well, yes, a lot of things. Mostly writing, script writing, or screenwriting. Um, I used a lot of cinematic things on the cutscenes of the game. Also in Noroko's Fatality or Fatal Move, which is actually with photos, with real photos. It's not a video; it's like a series of photos taken, animated, and also some of the stages of the game have like this round black thing around them at the edges. Maybe you've seen it. It's like they get obscured to the edges of the screen, and that's a cinematic trick. It's called vignette. I learned that making special effects for movies, so I say, okay, that looks nice. Makes the stage look a little more cinematic. So yeah, and well, also in actual job, the thing that gives me money is making special effects for movies, like visual effects, like made with computer, like After Effects and that. And many of the effects of the game were made that way, like with After Effects. I mean, fire and ghosts and shadows, etc. So yeah, being a filmmaker has been very useful for the game.
Okay. My next question is, so in-game Sharmakai is like a worm monster, yes? Whereas like in Necropolis, me and Mr. Nanny Vamp noticed like they did have arms and legs. Was there any point during the game, like the designing phase for him, where you considered actually giving Sharmakai arms and legs?
Or was
Actually, in
that?
the movie, like two separate monsters. I think. Like first, he's the worm, the same worm from the game, but it's really dark. Maybe you cannot see. It's because of the low resolution of the movie and the darkness. And later, he appears like alien monster from the Alien movie. He's like two legs and I don't know. I think that's a different monster. But when making the game, I made it like the first version. And an Easter egg, when you make the alternate fatal with Animus, where he appears from male to female and female to male. The female version of Sharmakai is that version of the monster, the one with legs, and I mean it has a female body now because it's the female form. But as an Easter egg, I try to squeeze that in. It's just love, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna ask one more question before I let us go, Mr. Nanny Vamp, go back and start asking more. How exactly did you meet Tobias Ruhan of Cybot Studios?
So he made a couple of games. One is called Doorways, and it has like 3 parts. And the other one is called Hellbound, a shooter, and it's quite new. It has a couple of years. And he actually hired me before to make trailers for his games, like cinematic trailers with actors and live action. Each other, and I know it was really good. He was a really good guy. We remained in contact, and when I ported the game to Ikemen, from Mugen to Ikemen. And suddenly I was able to sell the game through Steam. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to put a game on Steam. I need really hard to do. So I asked him, how did you do it? How did you put your games in Steam? And he started to explain it to me, but it was really hard. So in a point, he said, what if I was your publisher and I published the game on Steam with that, and you give me a percentage of the gross of the game? So I said, okay, and that was it. And he's really good at what he does. I couldn't have done it without him. So really thankful.
That's really nice of him. Okay, going to the game side, which I'm sorry, I'm still trying to. The question I have is all going away. Come back here.
Do you want me to go back to my questions? I can.
No.
You had to write them down, I think.
Yeah, that's what I did.
What were the main inspiration for the black card? Where do you get that?
Influence, you say?
Where do you get the idea for the black card?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
You mean the plot, the idea for the plot, the story?
Well, yeah, for the plot. Like, where
Everything.
do you everything?
Well, actually, I have you know Mugen, I think, or should I
Mugen.
explain what it is? Okay.
Yeah. I know
So
Mugen.
actually they were Mugen characters, no game characters. I mean, they were separate characters. Of them before Animus exists, it was like in order. It was Sharmakai, Piketo, Ashi, sorry, Anansi, and Noroko. And when I made Animus, I said, okay, I think I have a game here. I mean, they are very similar in gameplay and style. And I said, okay, maybe I should make a fighting game. I had to create a story that would fit them all. It was really hard to make a story that fit such different characters. I mean, they are all bloody and horror characters, but really different. I was reading Stephen King at the moment. The books, The Dark Tower. I don't know if you have read it or know about them.
The Stephen King novels?
Yes, The Dark Tower. Yes.
Yes, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, and The Dark Tower, there's a bad guy called Randall Flagg. He's like a sorcerer, and you don't know what he really is, but he's really evil. In the fourth book, I think, he reveals, I mean, he's called differently in the Dark Tower, and he reveals that his name is Randall Flagg. Randall Flagg is the evil guy from The Stand, another Stephen King novel. So I say, wait a minute, this guy is like a multiverse. He's in many different books. I mean, this guy is huge. He's really evil, and he's larger than life, and that blew my mind. And so I wanted to create a character, an evil guy that transcends the media. He could be in a film, he could be in a book, he could be in a game. So I took the bad guy from Necropolis, who is Janos or Janos. I said, okay, I'm gonna make a story where this guy is the bad guy. So I think that was the first thing. And I was a big fan of the Evil Dead movies. And the Evil Dead, in one part, they say that in I don't know, I think in 1300 AD, world turned red with blood. Say that. So I thought that was a really cool idea. What if there's another world which is red because of the blood, because of carnage or wars? So I think, okay, we have another world, parallel world, red. Okay, it's an evil world, and Janos comes from there. I had to create also like a goal for every character. It's not a tournament, so why Why would they be fighting? Okay, so thought they want to get something. So I created this black heart, and I said, okay, the king of the other world has been murdered, and someone took his heart. But it cannot be Hanos. Hanos is the son of this king, and it cannot be him because it would be like too obvious. And I wanted to make this guy really evil, really, really evil. So he's evil from the start, and it's not the same that he orchestrate, like he make this weird plot to like frame another guy for the murder. That's much more evil and much more efficient for a bad guy, and I wanted that. So I created a new character, called him Final, which is final in Spanish, Final. Because he was the final boss, and I thought, what is he's called Final? It would be really funny and also like really cool. Like, what does this mean? How can someone be called Final? I think I took that idea from Metal Gear 3. There's a boss character who is called the End.
I'm sorry, but my hair just started to tangle when you mentioned that.
Oh yes, called the End, and I say, how can be called the End? Really crazy, and I think that's because they're Japanese people and use the language, use a foreign language in a different way. So that's where the idea came from. So think, okay, he's called Final, and everyone is gonna ask why the hell he has that name, and that's gonna keep people wondering about the character and thinking about the character. So that's something good. And he's gonna be like this horrible monster, like this craft abomination, horrible thing, big and gigantic monster, and it's gonna be like the good guy, like the evil, like the enemy of the bad guy. I think that depth, many words, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but depth of the character made everything much more interesting. I think Janos or Janos and Final are like really layered characters. You never stop knowing things about them. So I think that's one of the reasons why the story of the game is really interesting. Many people, I mean, they get really hooked about it. It's like a murder mystery, and that's like, I don't know, that's how the story got made, I think, through all these steps.
Really, very interesting. So this one that I'm a bit curious since I ever first saw your game. Who was the most difficult character for you to design, implement? Which one was the most difficult for you?
Well, I wouldn't really know because I was very young, and I didn't think things through. I just made things. I don't know. I want to make a ghost kill and get a pig. I want to make a Japanese ghost in a rock. So I really didn't think. I really didn't design them. They just came up that way.
Very interesting. Okay, last one for me.
Sorry, maybe to give you an answer, maybe the most complex one is Anansi, because she's like the most human character, and her body has to be like, it has to be well done, and I'm not such a good illustrators, or I don't know much about anatomy, so it was really hard. I keep improving her sprites, like I don't know, now, like almost 20 years later. So maybe she was the harder one.
Okay. So that will be my last one before switching to Squid. Where did you get the idea for Norco? Like, Norco. Yeah. Sorry, I'm saying I'm not good with names.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But I understand that she's like a Japanese paranormal creature from Japanese folklore there. But I want to know, how do you just go for it and think, oh yeah, that'd be a good character for my game.
Well, actually, last year I came to know that her name is Noroko. It was I always said Noroko, but it's actually Noroko, Japanese, because I met some Japanese people and say, "Oh, Noroko." So okay,
Ah,
and I made her when I was discovering Japanese horror pictures and movies, literature and manga or whatever. Um, became a really big fan of that, and I say, well, I mean, first there are very little like horror fighting games. Like you have Stalkers, you have Thrill Kill, and I think that's it.
yeah,
I say, okay, what if there's a character that actually scares you? I mean, it's not just horror themed. It's not just a horror, I know, cliche or whatever. It has to actually scare the player, like horror movie. I think
yeah,
that's the idea. She is based around a lot, like lots of different things. I mean, the noise she makes when she wins, like this, it's actually from the Grudge movies, the Chu-on movies. Maybe you know them, where the ghost like makes this exact same sound. Um, and also when she stretches her neck in a wind pose, maybe you remember, like
yeah, yeah. She scratched her neck up and doing a like growling kind of sound.
yes, and the next thing is from a monster called Dokurokubi. This is a Japanese monster, like a folk monster. It's a woman that can stretch her neck. Um, and the thing that she has no face, I don't know where that came from. I know there are many monsters in Japanese horror that have no face, but I don't know. It's just like it's easier to make and
Yeah,
it's like really mysterious. So
I
that's the thing.
I kind of noticed when I playing her and then looking at her some of her moves, she seemed like the least violent character out of the rest of the cast. Like I know she's still technically a violent one, but she's the least one. Like when you look at her fatal, instead of she ripping you apart or eating you or something, she's scare you to death.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm the like, she must be the least violent character in the whole game. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
she's
it's. I mean, it was also the it was around I don't know 2002, 2003, and we were being exposed to these screamers, like these flash movie screamers
yeah,
on the internet. And think, oh, what if Fatal is like that? I think it'd be really cool. So yeah, it's that too.
yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, Squid, your turn, bud.
Before I actually ask my questions, one of our co-hosts who couldn't make it actually had two questions he wanted me to ask you,
Okay.
if that would be all right. Um, do you have any idea what your next film is going to be like?
Yes. It's actually a comedy, like a funny film. Um, have you seen the film What We Do in the Shadows?
I'm
No, sadly.
no.
Okay, you should. It's a mockumentary, so it's like a documentary, but I don't it's fiction. Um, the film they follow like a group of vampires. It's like a documentary about vampires, but they are really stupid and really funny. It's a comedy. Say, well, this false documentary thing is really funny to make when related to the supernatural, and so it's a lot easier to do than a normal fiction film. So my next film is gonna be, I hope, a mockumentary, a false documentary, with supernatural elements. I cannot tell you much about the plot because I'm not really sure if I'm gonna make it yet. But that's kind of the idea, like a false documentary with film, a comedy film with supernatural elements.
Okay, thank you for answering that. He was honestly very curious about that. His other question was, what was it like learning to code?
Oh, okay. Well, it was really hard, and I was really young, so I just started to code for Mugen. I mean, when you code for Mugen, you cannot code to for anything else. The code is Mugen exclusive, we could say, the language. Um, I just wanted to make my character, so I just wanted to do it like in the tutorials that came with the engine because YouTube didn't exist at the time, so you really didn't have like people telling you how to do it. I think I made Rick from the Splatterhouse games. Maybe you know him.
Yeah, I know the
Um,
Splatterhouse games. I'm actually a really big fan.
oh yeah, great games. So I made like him from Mugen, but he was really awful, really bad sprites. I mean, it was a mess. Then I made Makai, and then I made Peketo. So there was a forum, the Mugen Guild forum, where many people gathered about Mugen, and they were really good coders. And mentioned my characters. They say, okay, there's this guy making these horror characters. I got there, and they were talking about Karamakai and Peketo. So I made friends with them. I joined the forum, and they started to teach me how to code. Um, I really I was really I don't know the word, like kind of annoying. Like how do you do this like this? Okay, and how do I do this like this? Okay, and it was really a pain in the ass. I mean, I really didn't want to know how to do everything. So I don't know, maybe a couple of guys there hate me. I don't know, but that's kind of the way how I learned to code. I think.
Okay.
Hmm.
And so I guess that kind of leads into the other question that I was going to ask. I think you may have actually answered that. Was Paquetto the first character that you actually created then? For the, like when it came to the Black Heart?
It's actually Sharamakai, and you can tell because his sprites are like much more rough than the other guys.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Also, do you have a personal favorite character from your cast of characters?
Yeah, I think it would be Anansi because I really enjoy drawing Anansi and making like I don't know different win poses for her, like making her dress like Morrigan from Darkstalker, and making her dress like I don't know characters from another games. She has a win pose where she changes. Yes, I think it's okay.
Mhm.
Based on Morrigan from Darkstalker, she does that too. So I don't know. It's really fun to make that kind of that whole thing changes for her. So I really enjoy working in Anansi. So I think she would be my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, no, I always thought that the costume changing was really cool as well.
Well,
Um,
there are like I don't know 30 of them. It's really a
30?
lot.
there are the of them.
More.
Okay, I haven't seen them all. Also, I noticed that with Noriko's Fatal, sometimes the face that she uses changes.
Yes.
How
Yes.
many faces does she have that she can do exactly?
No, it's actually just two.
Oh,
Um,
just two. Okay.
yes, I should have made more, but I don't know. I ran out of ideas, and it's because
The
you
kind,
see that fatal once. Or say you say, okay, I got scared, but next time I won't. So it suddenly changes randomly, and you scared. That was the idea. Like the character should be like unpredictable.
Yeah, no, the first time I actually saw it, I accidentally crapped my pants. Like, oh, well, I need a few minutes now.
they will.
No, like, I needed to take a break because I wasn't prepared to get scared like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Metaphorically.
That,
Yeah, metaphorically, more so, yeah.
I'm about to say.
Um, but yeah, I've got, like, three more questions, and then, yeah, I think that'll be the last of the questions we have for you.
Okay.
But
Um,
was there anything you wanted to put into the game but couldn't due to program limitations?
Mm, let me think.
oh, and And also, I had like at least a couple more questions. Just
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, if you had some more
Okay,
questions, then
okay,
that's all right.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry.
I know has to be something, but I sadly I can't remember now. I mean, because the ideas were discarded like really fast. I mean, this doesn't work. Okay, I forget it, and I kind of forgot it. Only thing I can remember is that due to coding limitation, but final, he was gonna have like three orbs, like three glowing balls around him, kind of like the flies or the little flies that Hashi has around him. Um, I don't know what I was gonna do with that, but I really made the coding for that orbs like around him. Then I discarded it, and I ended up using the code for Hanos. Hanos has his killer mode. He has a sword that flies around him and makes damages. So I kind of cycled the code for that. So I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. My next question is, so on average, how long did it roughly take you to create a character? Like from the conceptual stages to them more becoming a complete character?
I would say like half an year, or maybe yeah. For the old characters, it was like half an year, and they had versions. So I created Sharmakai, and then a couple of months later, I got a new version with fixes, many and maybe more attacks because they all have like a lot of attacks. They have like three specials: move, killer mode, super moves. I don't know. So that wasn't there the first time. So if I updated, I don't know, Noroko and added this killer mode, I say, okay, what about Peketo? What about Sharmakai? I mean, I had to make them all equal.
Yeah, you want them to
Oh,
be fair for all the character and everyone that plays them.
yes, they have to play the same. So like all of the time. I think the most clean example would be Hanos, which is the last character, and he took like 3 or 4 months to get together. But he's like a black guy. He's like his body is all black, so it's really easy to sprite character. And the other ones were a lot harder to do. Maybe we could say 5 months, 6 months. That would be like average time.
Okay. And then my last question that I have as well is, how did you feel after officially releasing the Black Heart on Steam?
Well, it was really cool. Like I think the best part was that people remember the game. Like people from around the world and come to me. I said, "Well, sorry." They said, "You were the guy that made this game. I played this like I don't know. I was 8 years old or 10 years old, and I loved it. And I thought this was dead. I didn't even remember the name of the game. So it's like this. There's this really big cult of the game. Like hidden people come to me to talk about the game, and it was really cool. So and also having the game of Steam makes me earn a little money. So it's okay after 20 years or 10 or I don't know how many years have been since I started this, but it's really cool to have some money because of it. So very nice.
Nice. Okay, so to quickly wrap it up and that to choose my two final questions and wrap it up. My first one: what do you like to do outside of filming slash programming? Do you have any other hobbies you like?
You mean something game related?
What anything outside of filming or programming? Like it could be anything.
Well, I'm also writing books. I wrote two horror short story books. You can find them on Amazon. Well, actually, one of them is only in English, and the other one it's just in Spanish. It's called "Reflected in the Blood," and the easier way to find the book is put my name on Amazon and appear. And it was really good, like writing stories for the page and not for the screen or for games. I don't know. Like you make a film, when you write a film, there's still a lot of things to do to see it finished. Like you have to make the movie, and it's like 2 years, 3 years. It's like a very long time. But when you write page, it's done. You finish it. It's already there, and people can read it and you what they think. So I think that writing novels or short stories like another thing I like to do. So it will be these things like movies, games, and books. Hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does. Thank you. And for my last question, do you still like playing fighting games? If so, what's your favorite fighting game right now?
Yes, I love playing fighting games. I'm kind of like not playing modern games. I think I've only played the Mortal Kombat new games. Fighter, I think I stopped at 4. Liked 4, but I didn't play 5. I don't know. But there's also Killer Instinct, and I didn't play Killer Instinct. I don't know. I don't know what it is that why I'm not playing new fighting games. I really like the old ones. Like Darkstalkers has to be my favorite fighting game because of the creativity it has, the quality of the animation. It's like an excellent game. Yeah, I really like fighting games. When I was making the Black Heart to study the games, I just made my game. So
Yeah.
sometimes people say in your game this thing happens. I don't know. This move is blocked by crouching and not by standing, and that's weird. That's
Yeah.
because I didn't plan it. I mean, I should have been more like practical and study other games to make my game. So that's why maybe there's another update coming just for balance things and maybe fixing some bugs. But since it's on Steam, many people have said, check this out, and they show me like little things about gameplay that maybe could be improved. So yeah, maybe there's gonna be another update for that soon, but not about content, no more DLC or characters or sequel or whatever, but just so I don't get your hopes up, I think.
And that's completely fine. That's completely fair. Um, hey, Red Squid. I'm sorry, go on.
No, I don't have any more questions, but I wanted to say, Andre, thank you for your time. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, we.
Oh,
Is
thanks to you.
there
It was really cool.
is there any like social media stuff you wanted to like talk about
Wait, what?
Um,
that we can tell the audience about?
yes, mostly I'm on Instagram. That's my main account. I mean, that's the place where I move more.
Mhm.
It's my last name and my name, so it's Borghi Andres.
Okay.
I'm also on Twitter. Like I got into Twitter for the last release of the game. So like a couple of weeks ago, I didn't use Twitter before that, so I really don't understand it now. But I think I'm gonna use it more, and it's just my name, like Andres Borghi, is the same. And you can visit my YouTube channel if you want, where these short films and Necropolis and everything, and the Black Heart, I don't know, trailers are there. It's really hard. It's called Guadalajara Man, but it's gonna appear, I mean, in words in the screen. So I'm gonna give you the written version.
All right, thank
That's
you
the
very
plan.
much for
Thank
that, by the
you.
way.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
But yes, thank you very much for coming on the podcast, and thank you, audience, for tuning in. We hope to see you all on the next episode. Have a good night.